Alright, hear me out. Justin Baldoni may not have lost his courtroom fight with Blake Lively, but he did lose someone he trusted when two of Hollywood's most strategic figures allegedly tried to wipe out his entire career. Liz Plank spent years promoting mindful masculinity, emotional awareness, and healthy partnerships. Yet when the pressure intensified, she made a decision. And that decision, according to this narrative, was to stand beside Ryan and Blake as the man who once welcomed her into his life became the target. Let me ask you something, and really think before answering. What hurts more, a hit from an opponent or a betrayal from someone you called a friend? Most people already know the answer. A friend who sits at your table, laughs with your family, praises you publicly, then quietly aligns with people working against you. That kind of betrayal shakes your entire sense of trust. It forces you to question everything you believed about loyalty and friendship. And that, allegedly, is the emotional storm Justin Baldoni suddenly found himself facing.
Then if you want to be on the Baldoni side, you say, well, she's an absolute traitor. She backstabbed him with no evidence.
The Man Enough podcast debuted in 2020, led by Justin Baldoni, Liz Plank, and Jamie Heath. The show focused on vulnerability, emotional honesty, and redefining masculinity. For a podcast like that to feel authentic, the hosts needed real trust between them. And this is where the story grows complicated. Liz wasn't just a co-worker. She became deeply integrated into Justin's personal world. She visited his home, spent time with his wife, played with his children, and shared meals around the family table. Inviting someone into your family space signals complete trust. Justin offered her opportunity, visibility, and stability through the platform they built together. But according to this version of events, that closeness became a turning point. Around the same period, she was allegedly messaging Ryan Reynolds privately, describing Justin as a concern. Publicly, however, she continued celebrating him. On his birthday in March 2023, she posted a heartfelt tribute, praising his character and impact. She even commented lovingly about his family. So what changed? What made years of friendship suddenly feel less valuable? The answer, supporters claim, lies hidden inside private conversations that later surfaced.
Liz Plank is a nobody. But back in 2021, she was friends with Ryan and Blake. Even though she was Justin Baldoni's friend and his podcast co-host, she decided to come out in support of Blake and drop Justin Baldoni and to leave the podcast and then go out on her own.
In early 2023, Liz Plank was reportedly messaging a friend named Louie. In those exchanges, she acknowledged the potential of It Ends With Us and how significant the project could become. She understood the scale of opportunity surrounding it, but there was another realization unfolding at the same time. She allegedly knew Ryan and Blake were showing interest in the project and understood what control of it might mean. According to this narrative, that awareness became the moment everything shifted. She evaluated the situation and chose where her loyalty would land. After that decision, she didn't simply align herself quietly. Instead, she allegedly positioned herself as someone who could provide insight to those looking to gain influence over the film. Supporters of Baldoni argue she believed he was vulnerable and became willing to help others move against him for personal advancement.
Not only did Liz Plank post this photo in 2019 thanking Ryan freaking Reynolds, he also posted her book to his story. She also was unwelcome to Wrexham.
Ryan and I had questions.
So we went to the only logical place for answers. A woman.
Hi, my name is Liz Plank. In the first episode of the show, Rob said that he went to Ryan for movie money.
This wasn't someone swept into chaos who made a single mistake under pressure. According to this version of events, the betrayal had been unfolding long before anyone realized it. She allegedly spotted a chance to align herself with powerful, allies and moved toward it quickly. But here's what makes the story even more complicated. Ryan's side didn't just want an insider. They needed a justification, something they could present as proof that the conflict wasn't about control or creative direction. They needed a narrative suggesting harmful behavior behind the scenes. And in this telling, Liz Plank's private messages became the centerpiece. She didn't only signal support, she allegedly provided statements that could be used to shape a broader accusation. Those messages, supporters claim, offered the exact material needed to strengthen a case against Justin. And once the details of those conversations surfaced, many observers said the situation felt colder and more calculated than anyone expected.
Ryan texts Liz Plank and says, "I'm a little baffled by Mr. Baldoni. I would love some guidance at some point." She says, "Rats. I tried to warn Blank on the red flags, but I was hoping he had gotten better."
In April 2023, as tensions around the film reportedly intensified, Liz Plank sent Ryan Reynolds a message that would later draw major attention. She described her time on Justin's set as one of the worst days of her life and added that she had tried to warn Blake about concerning signs. Supporters of Baldoni say the timeline makes this claim confusing. Filming had barely begun, and Liz had no official role in the project as an actor, producer, or crew member. If she visited at all, it may have been simply as a guest. So what experience was she describing? According to later court filings, critics argue there was no significant incident at that stage, only creative disagreements about script changes. They believe normal artistic conflict was exaggerated into something much larger. What raises even more questions for observers is what happened afterward. Despite the alleged concerns, Liz continued co-hosting the Man Enough podcast with Justin for another year. She remained close to his family and professional circle until the public accusations emerged. To critics, the timing suggested a double life, remaining supportive publicly while distancing privately once the controversy exploded.
Liz Plank is a liar. I do feel that she has not been completely honest, but I do believe Liz was involved in it from the get-go. I think she knew what was going on.
What makes this situation even harder to ignore is the contradiction in the behavior. According to the narrative being discussed, someone cannot publicly act traumatized by a person while privately continuing to share dinners, conversations, financial opportunities, and daily interactions with them for another full year. The argument being made is that these actions were not isolated misunderstandings, but repeated choices carried out consistently over time. The controversy reportedly expanded beyond personal relationships and moved into a much larger legal and strategic battle. In late 2024, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were allegedly attempting to obtain private communications connected to Justin Baldoni and his PR associates. Reports claim a company named Bunsen filed a lawsuit against unnamed John Doe, defendants in New York Supreme Court, which allegedly allowed subpoenas to be issued without directly alerting Baldoni. According to the claims, materials obtained from Stephanie Jones, a former publicist associated with Baldoni, included private text messages and emails. Shortly after the lawsuit was reportedly withdrawn in December 2024, Blake Lively filed a public lawsuit using information allegedly connected to those communications. The situation drew even more attention when records surfaced showing Liz Plank, productions listing the same New York business address, and registered legal agent associated with Bunsen, leading critics online to speculate about deeper coordination behind the scenes.
The same address, 888 7th Avenue, 4th floor in New York. And look who is the agent. Eric Binder. This is the same agent as Van Zandt Inc.,
According to the claims being circulated online, Liz Plank was no longer viewed as simply a friend, choosing sides in a personal dispute. Critics began pointing to corporate records, showing that her company allegedly shared the same office address and registered agent connected to Vanson, the entity accused of being involved in the subpoena strategy targeting Justin Baldoni's communications. Supporters of Baldoni argued this suggested she had become part of a much larger coordinated effort rather than remaining a neutral observer. The accusations intensified after Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds publicly launched their lawsuit in late 2024. At the same time, media coverage exploded, including a highly discussed New York Times article that reportedly used selected text messages to support the public narrative against Baldoni. Soon afterward, Liz Plank stepped away from the Man Enough podcast, a move many online interpreted as carefully timed to distance herself, while public criticism against Baldoni was at its peak. During promotional events connected to the film rollout, observers noticed Plank appearing publicly alongside Blake Lively, while seemingly avoiding Baldoni entirely. Photos and social media posts fueled speculation that her loyalties had fully shifted. Critics described the situation as a dramatic betrayal after years of publicly praising Baldoni, celebrating his family, and promoting him as someone who represented compassion and emotional honesty. Months later, controversy reignited when portions of the lawsuit were dismissed by a federal judge. Online reactions quickly followed, and one exchange on social media drew particular backlash after Plank appeared to laugh off the legal situation as a funny boy problem. That response angered many people who felt it contradicted the values of empathy and emotional support she had promoted for years through her public platform. Then, in January 2026, the situation escalated even further when previously sealed court records and private messages were released in what commentators labeled the Great Unsealing. The newly available documents triggered widespread debate online, with supporters and critics on all sides claiming the material exposed deeper details involving Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and even other major celebrity names connected to the controversy.